In our lives, routine sets the standard for everything. The reason why the 9 to 5 is a habit is because it is repeated over and over again. It gets repeated to the point where you don't actually get exhausted from the pressures of joining a new job. But the thing is that structure outside of work very rarely exists. But the moment you walk in through the door, you might opt for your most immediate impulses, which might be scrolling on social media, food, Netflix, that sort of stuff. But these things themselves, they're the light at the end of the tunnel. They're the rewards. They're the thing that keeps us going when we're having a really tough day. Now, most people want to improve themselves. They want to have a higher quality of life. They want to be fitter. They want to have more money. But the thing is that most people will only consider these things if they've got enough time to kill. The thing is with progressive activities is that we will only consider doing them if they don't interrupt with the things that we would much rather be doing, which a lot of the time are things that require less effort. And yet this can happen when you say yes to things without acknowledging the consequences. And as we know, saying yes to one thing can lead you to saying yes to more things down the line. And this can lead to you wasting an entire afternoon where you wanted to reach out to clients or focus on your business. Now, are all time wasting activities a bad thing? Definitely not. But there are some key considerations. Now, these time-wasting activities, they have to be a reward. But for every reward, there needs to be a price paid. And what you need to do is plan your reward. You need to think about what you truly would rather be doing and then think, okay, I need to do X, Y, and Z, all these different priorities, all these different productive activities, because I know at the end of the tunnel, there's this light, there's this thing that I'd rather be doing, there's that brunch that I could be going to. Because that way, when you're working through your to-do list, when you're working through all your priorities, it'll be more efficient, you'll be faster, you won't be wasting any more time. And what you need to do is, on your days off, have a daily plan. Have those hour slots mapped out and all of your priorities. And I know this sounds a bit boring, like you're over managing your time, but it gives you so much freedom to be able to realize what you can get done if you give yourself a target, a deadline. And there have been countless studies that when people write things on a piece of paper, they get it done. Now, if you know you've got to be starting somewhere and ending in another place, knowing that you've got these little checkpoints along the way are so useful because it gives you something to show up for. It becomes less about forcing you to do the work and sit in front of a computer. Anytime that your attention is drifting and you're getting away from your priorities, check your plan, check your timings, and then that will get you on track. And it can feel like a game, like you're competing with yourself to try and get these priorities done. And going back to routine, you want to have specific days for specific activities. For example, for gym, on Mondays I do upper body, Tuesdays boxing, Wednesdays a rest day, Thursday is boxing or it might be more upper body. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, these are all types of days where I can just do whatever exercise I want. So if I want to go for a park run, if I just fancy doing different routines at the gym, I have the option to do that as well. Again, what I'm doing is that I'm following a routine. I'm following something which is a template and it's set in stone. And the best thing you can do is for every week that you've got to do something is stick to the same days for certain activities. And I think what this comes down to is that it is so easy to do something if you're creating less decisions for yourself. Like if you know on a Thursday, you're going to be researching investments or you're going to be going for a run and you're doing that every single Thursday, it becomes so hard to get out of that repetition. It's so hard to remove yourself from a habit. Being on top of all of your obligations is hard, but it's only if you let it. At least with a plan, something has been set in motion. Less struggling with what to do, more accountability with what you want to achieve. To wrap up, define your reward, follow a plan, make sure you're doing activities on the same days, and trust me, you'll see some immediate changes. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen my last video, you can click right here. There's so much more content on the way, so like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Take care.